afternoon. Greetings for everyone. Myself, Dr. A. Srinivasan, Professor, Sanskrit School of Business. It's my privilege to be part of the Faculty Development Program, Sustainable Teaching Practices, Education 4.0, which is from 23rd January, followed by one more day. Today's topic for FDP is Personality Development, Improving Employability Skill Among Students by Dr.M.Bala, Koteswari-M, and I will be the moderator for today's session. I welcome the resource person for today's session, Dr. Bala Koteswari-M, Dean and Principal, Sanskrithi Group of Institutions, Puttaparthi, Sri Satya Sai District, Andhra Pradesh, and all faculty fraternity from various institutions across the globe. Let me take the privilege of introducing today's session's resource person. Madam completed PhD, MBA, MSc, gold medalist in industrial psychology. In addition, PGD HRM, B.Ed in her credit. She is currently Dean Academics and Principal Sanskrithi B School. Believes in teamwork and emphasizes on college and universities should be reputed with the contribution of teachers in teaching, research, and consulting, meeting the stakeholders' requirements, and establishing sustainable educational institutions. In her earlier capacities, transformed workstations into enjoyable, positive, and vibrant workplaces. Specialized in human resources management, organizational behavior, does research work on behavioral issues in organization. She is gold medalist in industrial psychology and completed PhD from Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. Has 16 years of research, teaching, and industrial experience. Guiding PhD students in psychology, education, and management disciplines. And doctoral committee member for Reva University and on PhD evaluation board of various universities. Has been an active researcher, having presented her work in national and international conferences of repute. Published papers on socially relevant topics on domestic and international journals and has contributed chapters to several books. She is the editor for journals and has been panel expert for various symposium, seminars, and conferences. Associated with the National Commission for Women, Government of India, in building legal awareness among young students. Current area of research includes corporate social responsibility, energy management, green HRM, building values and positive attitude among youth, stress management, social entrepreneurship, and transformation in education. She strongly believes that right mindset of youth nurtured by teachers can create wonders for the nation. Profession of teaching is the responsibility towards society and nation. Before handing over the session to the speaker, a few instructions to the participants. In order to conduct the session in a smooth manner, uninterrupted, all the participants were muted. Kindly cooperate with us. After the speaker completes her talks, time will be provided for questions and answers. Participants shall be unmuted as they raise their hands one by one. Feedback link shall be shared with you before the question and answer session. Kindly fill it. Thank you, one and all. Session is over to Madam. Thank you, Madam. Welcome, please.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the introduction, sir. I would like to share my screen.
Yes, Madam. Yes, Madam. Please.
Is my screen visible, sir? Can you please confirm?
Not full. Not full visible, madam. Only partially it's appearing.
Now,
Appearing, madam.
Now it's
Perfect, madam. Perfect.
thank you. Thank you. In the blessings of my God and Guru, Bhagavan Sri Sathai Baba. Happy Republic to all the participants. We acknowledge and also understand the sacrifices made by our fighters. It also brings us the responsibility to carry this effort of the freedom fighters of giving us the freedom forward, taking their mission forward by discharging our responsibilities as a student, as a teacher, as a parent to the best. So with these few words, I would like to move on to today's topic. The theme of the FDP being Sustainable Teaching Practices, Education 4.0. Today's topic is going to be personality development, improving employability skills among the students. So this topic is very crucial because we talk about the teaching pedagogy, digital tools, which has been in the past few days. This topic specially is chosen for the teachers to understand and also take the responsibility of developing the student's personality. So I'll be touching mostly on the personality characteristics because there are a lot of employability skills. I'll not be touching on those, but I'll be only talking about the personality traits and as teachers, how we can instill them in our students. So the popular quote goes like this, that education is for life and not just for living, which is told by my guru. The meaning of this says that it is not just for a job or a paycheck or a salary which we are giving education. It has a bigger purpose. Education has a bigger purpose. And all of us as teachers has to realize this, then only we can imbibe this kind of attitude in our students. It is beyond a certificate, it is beyond a degree, it is beyond what they feel they come and sit in the college and study for. So which means that we need to imbibe them the right values, the right character, the life skills which are required for them to be successful. So I have divided my presentation into 3 segments. The first segment, I'll be talking about what do you mean by sustainable education and what are the sustainable educational objectives, because when we make our lesson plans or when we take any curriculum or a particular course, we start with objectives before we go into syllabus. So how do we set those objectives? Segment, I'll be talking about the employment competencies in general and also specific to personality characteristics. What are those things which we can imbibe in the students as faculty? And the last segment, I will say the role of teacher has been transformed drastically. And what is this shift which all of us have to understand? So getting started with the first part of the presentation, what is sustainable education and how do we understand it? Everybody talks about sustainability now. Everybody talks about UN 17 goals. It is very much researched, very much taken as a concept for the conference, theme for seminars, so many debates, so many competitions are going around. But when you connect it exactly to the education, how is it relevant and what does that mean? If we look at the cognitive, conative, affective status of the student, which talks about the knowledge, skill, and attitude, which is imbibed in the students in their course. Let us take it as a higher education institution, and they are all given the same kind of knowledge, skill, and attitude, which brings them into responsible individuals where they are going to be emotionally stable, maintain a balance, and maintain equanimity, which further produces educational efficiency. We talk about excellence in education, we talk about grades, we talk about performance of the students. With all these knowledge, skill, and attitude, they are going to flourish and establish themselves in various positions, in various corporates, in various institutions, and further leading to the sustainable development of the nation, of the society at large. So the replication effect from where starts is instilling the right knowledge and skill, leading to the development of the nation is sustainable. When we talk sustainability, it just means that we are instilling or we are using the right kind of knowledge and skill into the students further who are going to develop the society or nation in the long run, which is sustainable, which is productive. Moving on, I think this is very popularly known to all of you, but still I would like to reiterate on this: educational objectives. Is there any disturbance? Is there any disturbance? Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are audible, madam. Yes, madam, you are audible, madam.
Audible, madam. Audible,
So
madam.
sustainable. Yeah, so I'll proceed, sir. Sustainable educational objectives. As a teacher, when we frame a syllabus or when we follow a syllabus which is already framed, we inculcate a concept looking at these objectives. So by the end of our course, we should have fulfilled all these things and make sure that students get this into their DNA, into their blood, to that level. So what are those things? One is knowledge. Whatever we are teaching, they should be able to define it, identify, describe, recognize. They should be able to explain about that concept. They should be able to memorize and replicate it in the form of assessments, what we do. They should be able to illustrate and quote it. The next level is understanding. They should be able to summarize, interpret, classify. They should be able to compare and apply it by solving or relating it, using it in their conversations or in the presentations what they are doing, articulate it when they are talking, transfer it to others in conversations. Further comes analyze. They should be able to connect to the topic, correlate, categorize, distill, and evaluate too. They should be able to reframe, apprise, value, prioritize, whatever concept we are teaching. I'll give an example here which we can understand better. For example, if we are teaching motivation. So when you teach them, how do you define motivation? So they should be able to define it, which primarily we test in the examinations, right? Define this, define motivation, give some examples. So whatever you have transferred as a knowledge, they should be able to define it. I request the participants to kindly mute, please.
Yes, madam. Muted.
So when we take this concept motivation, knowledge is something which they are able to define. And in the understand objective, they will be able to compare it, how motivation is different from attitude, and they'll be able to apply and analyze it, connect it, correlate it with other concepts they have learned, contrast it, how it is different from other concepts, evaluate it by trying to reframe, trying to criticize that motivation. Yes, Maslow's theory is much been popular in motivation, but it has been criticized so much because the needs is not as per the hierarchy, but actually they go parallelly. There is a criticism which comes up in our education objectives of critically analyzing any of the concept. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree also, but it is fine. Students will be able to do this setting of the objective. And finally, create. Student might create a model of motivation with his own experiences as they evolve, understand. They will be able to collaborate, rewrite what is already existing, and they will be able to also, implement it in their own work areas or in their own workplaces or in their family to motivate their friends, etc. So these objectives which are defined, it is a Bloom's taxonomy model which is in front of you, but it is equivalent to sustainable educational objectives, because if these objectives are utilized or being used in the right spirit, they are equally sustainable objectives. I have not changed anything here, but I am just trying to explain, because a lot of assessments and evaluations focus on some of this, not everything of this. For example, if we are giving an written examination, we might test on objective 1, 2, and 3, or maximum 4. And when we give projects, hands-on experience or skill-based, we might test on 5 and 6. So the more we stress on educational objectives 5 and 6, the more they start evolving, the more they connect to sustainability. So the order in which we are going to help them to improve their knowledge, enhance their knowledge, and implement it and develop it is more sensible for having sustainability when we talk in the education. So when we say employability competences, we talk about knowledge, skills, attitude, and values. It was just only knowledge, skill, and attitude, but I have added another component called value, which has a greater importance than anything else. So I've put values in the first, which talks about knowing the importance of respecting each other, knowing the importance of respecting others, appreciating cultural diversity. It can be gender diversity, it can be region, religion, caste, language. So students should be able to appreciate all these things when they are in the college, so that they start also reciprocating it when they go to the workplace. And they have to value democracy, justice of fairness, equality, and rule of law. See, these things are also generic, which are applicable for them as life skills. It is not only connected to employability. Attitude of the student matters most. How open they are to learn, which is the main important characteristic which the corporate or the workplaces are looking at, is how open they are to learn new things. Because every day new technology, every day advancement. So are the candidates, are the students ready to take up this? Are they responsible? Are they tolerant to uncertainties? These all put together we call attitude, which is one competency. The skill set which is required, apart from the knowledge what is given in the form of concepts to them, they also need to have a skill set of language, or say communication skill, critical thinking, problem solving, negotiation, flexibility and adaptability, conflict resolution. These are all being imbibed into the students in the form of activities which is given for MBA students as such, or in the form of club activities. We bring out all these skills from the students and really help them to get all these skills. And knowledge is something which is imbibed in the form of concepts, given in the form of concepts to the students and models. So this 4 components put together we call employability competencies. So when we look at what do industry expect from the students, and this research has been conducted with various corporates to understand what are they looking at students when they want to hire. And this is a combination of personality dimensions too. It is not generally of the soft skills part or what attitude part what I'm talking. It also covers the personality dimensions. I will let you know what are those dimensions in this. Some of them are working with people. This is very critical, because when we talk to the corporate leaders, they say that the major problem the students are facing is they cannot work in teams. They have difficulty in actually coordinating with others. They have very poor interpersonal skills, which is again a typical personality trait. Let me give an example here. So a student who has been a very good, highly achieving in the academics and very good performer and has been hired by a corporate. And later, now all corporates mostly work in teams in projects. So he has been put into a team where he has to work with 5 people. Individually, he is a very good performer, but when he is put into teams, he is not able to cope up with this coordination, communication, negotiation, meeting the targets. Everything was a failure. So the manager was trying to understand that what is the reason behind this. Let me counsel, let me understand why he is lacking the motivation. In the process of tracking all this, he could realize that the employee or the student who is called to be corporate employee now, he has come from a nuclear family. And there are no siblings. In a nuclear family, even the father and mother go for a job and he is all alone. And he has never mingled with anybody. And he has not even practiced any team building activities in his college too. So with all these inquiries, he got to know that what is the reason for this? Now, having this reason, now there has to be some action taken by the manager to counsel him, to slowly and gradually groom him towards contributing in the group. It will take some time. That is where, as faculty, if we are able to design some activities in the form of delivering a subject, a team building activity or a group activity or group projects, if we are able to give, we can probably build that skill in the students when they are in the college so that they become better products when they go and stand as an employee in the organization. And achieving results, as all corporates work on targets, productivity, they talk numbers, they look for the revenues, they look on return on investment. So results are inevitable. And also managing self and personal skills, which is very, very essential as an individual, how you are able to manage yourself. And they want excellent results, deliverables, it is surveys or product. And also innovation is a new norm. Every company talks about innovation now. If we look at the vision and mission of the company, everybody wants to make their customers happy, give new products, give new services, which will put a lot of pressure on the employees to innovate something new every day. Embracing change, the only thing which is constant is change. So unless we adapt ourselves in terms of updating ourselves as faculty, as students, they have to understand it when they go to industry. The resources which are available, you should be able to use it. Online, offline, people, they should be able to utilize it. And if they are working in team, they have to provide direction. As they start as an employee, after some time, they might become a team leader or a project manager. They should be having this sense of direction, not only for themselves, should be able to provide to others, and also able to develop self and others. As it happens in the teams, you also not focus only on your development, but you also develop others in the team or in the group as well. These are some of the behavior which are expected from the employers. So much popularly spoken, one personality test, which I will touch up here, because this is majorly used in the selection process when our students go to the corporate. That is why I'm touching on this personality test. There are many, many tests, but because of the time limitation and the presentation constraint, I am just focusing on this personality test. I think many of you would be knowing it. We can probably discuss on it when the session is open for discussion. So if you look at this model, there is a personality test called OCEAN, OCEAN. It is available online where you can probably encourage your students to take it up and get the scores on these dimensions. O stands for openness, which talks about the degree of intellectual curiosity, creativity, and the eagerness of the student to learn new things. C stands for conscientiousness, the ability of the student or the candidate who is taking up the test. They want to test on how organized they are, how dependable they are, how much we can rely on a person. E stands for extraversion, their ability to mingle quickly and fastly with other people, ability to talk to strangers without any hesitation, etc. A stands for agreeableness. How much trustworthy a person is. Because that is important. When work is delivered, you have to trust a person and give, thinking that he is going to complete the work. And N stands for neuroticism. It also talks about emotional stability of a person. How high or low a person is on his or her emotions. So all these 5 dimensions has been popularly tested in the selection process when they apply for the placements or when they apply for any job. So if we know that corporate is looking at these dimensions in our students, why can't we start building it in our students so that they become industry ready? Most of the students, either they want to be an employee or some of them want to be employees, entrepreneurs. But in any case, these are mostly wanted, I can say, or mostly considered personality traits among the corporates. Okay, so let us look at each of these dimensions. Every dimension or every personality trait, each one of these personality trait. A trait is something which is an enduring characteristic of a person. So in this, when we are going to test, and if I am writing a test, I can fall either on high or low or average on this, because every trait is tested on a scale. So I might be high on openness or low on openness or maybe an average. Conscientiousness, I'm highly dependable or I'm not dependable, or I'm sometimes dependable and sometimes not dependable. So all this is measured on a personality assessment, where this in terms of percentages will reveal what kind of a person we are in these 5 personality traits. Like that, if you want to measure any individual, there are thousands and thousands of traits. And this particular test is talking only about 5 considerable traits which we are looking for the employability of the student. So extroversion, when we talk, somebody can be introvert to extrovert. The scale might vary that a person is introvert, where he doesn't mingle with anybody, to the extent where he is highly extrovert, where he is very comfortable with strangers, very outspoken, goes and talks on the stage, goes and talks to people without any hesitation. So all these 5 dimensions have been explained here in the further diagram on a scale where one extreme talks about inventive and curious, one dimension of openness, and the other pole talks about very consistent but very cautious. Conscientiousness, they can be efficient, very organized, to very easygoing and careless. In extroversion, somebody is very outgoing, energetic, somebody is very solitary, they'll be always in silos, don't mix with anybody, very reserved. Agreeableness, somebody very friendly, compassionate, to somebody very challenging and detached. Neuroticism, somebody is very sensitive, nervous, and some might be very secure and confident. And there is nothing like right or wrong answers in this personality traits or assessment. It is only in the scale where do you fall and what is considered to be relevant for that kind of situation or job what you are applying for. So if our students are going into the employment, and if we know these are desirable, we can prepare them. In terms of openness, they would look at somebody who are inventive and curious. In conscientiousness, they would look at somebody who are very efficient and very organized. And in extroversion, if it is a marketing job or HR job or finance for that matter, you need to be outgoing, you need to be energetic, which is mostly desirable. In agreeableness, they want people who are good mingling with the teams and also compassionate. That is one dimension. And some of them might fall on an average where they have balanced both. They are challenging, yet they are friendly. They are detached, yet they are compassionate. In neuroticism, sensitive people are very difficult to handle because they get shaky with small situations and people play emotional drama with them. So disable is mostly being able to manage their emotions, secure and be confident. So this is about the ocean strategy. So moving on now, having known all these, what is the role of teacher now? How do we mold ourselves so that we prepare our students to be employable? As I already told the disclaimer, I'm only talking about the personality characteristics. I'm not touching on the other skills. So all this while we have been teaching the students, holding them, giving them notes, teaching them point by point. I think many of us follow this. It is by choice or by force, we tend to do it. Where all this while we have been so much supportive, kind of spoon feeding, providing all the question papers, all the materials, the videos, everything we feed them so nicely. So they are like, cats carrying kittens. So we are like the cats, like teachers carrying the children like that, very protective, our students. The shift we need is we have to let them prepare, let them take the ownership, let them take the responsibility, let them be proactive. Let them come prepared for the class. Let them Google something. Let them get the information. Let them come with the doubts. Then we are there to support them. We just facilitate the education, but not just spoon feed them anymore. So in order to get this kind of shift, what kind of characteristics we can imbibe as teachers is what I would like to present. So the personality development of the student is the responsibility of a teacher. When I say this, I don't mean that only personality development we hire a teacher of a soft skill teacher is there, or you appoint a person who is teaching them values or talking about character. It is not like that. It is a responsibility of every teacher going into the class to make sure that they mold the character of the students also. That is why I say it is the responsibility of all the teachers. It can be any subject. It can be accounts, it can be finance, it can be statistics, it can be human resource management, it can be organization behavior. How do we do that? I'm going to explain in the coming slides. So as a teacher, it is our responsibility for character building. Because what all we are learning, what all we say are getting educated, it has to end with a good character of a person. So if we have so many degrees or medals, or you have done triple doctorate, or you have done postdoctorate, you have traveled many countries, and if we don't respect the other person, everything doesn't carry any value. So when we say this responsibility is that we should implement it and also inculcate the same thing in our students in the class. So what are these pillars of character building? Respect, care, responsibility, fairness, trustworthiness, courage, diligence, persistence in the effort. Diligence meant by persistence in what efforts students are making. Integrity. Even if they become employable, these are some of the characteristics which is very much required and which will make them sustainable in the jobs. When I say sustainability in education, it also talks about how sustainable they are in the future going into the corporates or going into their jobs or going into their families. So the responsibility lies with us to actually build these qualities in our students. So how do we do that? I strongly feel that we set a role model for the students. You start respecting your students first. You start respecting your colleagues. You start respecting your staff, because everything students will observe. Maybe we cannot accept the fact that how they will observe everything, but that is the fact that they observe everything. Care. how you communicate with your students, how you care them, indirectly also will influence them to care their fellows, to care their friends, to care their peers. Responsibility. Give the work to them and get them the feeling of taking it as a responsibility. Trust them. Be fair to the students, and they'll also get the message that, yes, I also should be fair towards my peers. Yeah, no bias, no distinction, no groupism, no barriers. This they will develop automatically. Trustworthiness, courage, all these. Integrity is something which is non-compromised in any walk of our life, might be in the family or in the college or in the working place. Set principle and discipline. So this particular activity or this particular how we can instill it is, you set rules in the class. Suppose we start exactly 9:30 is the class. You are there in the class 9:30. First day, second day, third day, fourth day. And I'm sure that students will come on time. Because they see, when you set a rule, they expect you to follow first. It is unsaid. They will not tell it on the face, but inside they feel that yes, the rule is set, is applicable for everybody in the class, including the teacher. Let the character traits and practices infuse, built by everybody, and we be the example. As I said, we respect others. This also gives an ownership to the students to take responsibility, to take up projects, to come forward and give a speech, give a presentation. Create more such activities, because now they are in alignment with what you want to convey to them, what you have set an example. And stay positive in praising students who exhibit good character. When we criticize the students when they are doing wrong, we also need to appreciate them when they are doing right. So if you define these principles in your class, that's a discipline which is the most wanted characteristic globally. So there was a study which was done in various corporates among understanding what is that one single characteristic which is common among successful people. Thousands of organizations were researched. So we name the leader, they are researched. So they have found out that discipline is one such common thing across all the successful people. So there is no compromise on this. Discipline talks about time management. Discipline talks about submitting their assignments on time. Discipline talks about taking responsibility for a presentation. This counts a lot. Build empathy. Many times we might be sympathetic, but because of situation, because of lack of time, we don't actually get into the mode of understanding our students. Yeah. We understand the students at the same time. Repeated mistakes is not entertained. Sorry. And when you express that empathy, students do respond in the same way. And ensure every student is included in caring activities and also exhibit an act of kindness towards their peers, towards their family. Maybe in a role model what they are doing, or maybe in a club activity what they are doing. Yeah, or maybe any other cultural event what they are participating. You can actually see the change in the behavior of the students. And this empathy can be built more when you engage your students in community projects, socially relevant projects. Yeah, caring and concern can be best understood when they go and talk to the people who are in need. Help the people who are requiring their support. human dignity is very, very important as a foundation of a society. Irrespective of the job, irrespective of the position, irrespective of the age, human dignity is a basic human need. So respecting everyone is a kind of practice which we have to put it strongly in the mind of the students. And again, that starts with us respecting our students. And also respecting others' point of view. Sometimes some student might argue in the class that they don't agree with what we have told. Fine, that is fine. Accept it. Because we don't know doesn't mean that the student is telling wrong, or we don't need to prove our ego before them. That's fine. Because a lot of information, what is not available to us also is available for them. So they would have read something. So instead we can tell that, okay, we'll get back to you. Or we will find and let you know in the next class. Make a strict application of rules on abuse and negativity, intolerance. This is very, very important. This is quite against to the human dignity, where you abuse others or put somebody down, verbally abusing, physically abusing. Students also sometimes get into fights. So this has to be strictly put into the mind that this is against, or this is not supposed to be done. This is not to be encouraged. Yeah. So all the virtues of treating everyone with dignity and respect, and also avoid or address the issues of bullying in the class, assaults happening in your surrounding areas pertaining to your students. Proactiveness is very, very important, because this is one of the key employability skill. As I say, skill, when I say it is a personality trait too. Initiating the work, or give a work, there are 10 students ready to take it up. Or they themselves come and ask, madam, what is that I am supposed to do? Can I take up this initiative? Can I give this presentation? That kind of behavior we call proactiveness, which we can build as teachers by encouraging them, giving some ideas and asking them to develop a model. Yeah, guiding to organize events, rewarding for volunteering. Every time few students are volunteering or coming forward, so they also need some kind of appreciation, reward, if not material, at least appreciation. Also instilling the confidence that they can do. Many of the students, they go back and say that, no, I cannot do, because either I am poor in my communication, or I don't have the capacity, or I don't have a team, or myself, I am not efficient in doing it. I lack this skill, etc. So try and say that, yes, you can do it. At least they'll attempt to do it. They might not give a 100% result, but at least they might give a 75% result in what they do. And also reward such initiations. And the best possible thing is live by example. Whatever we say, they forget, but whatever we do, they definitely observe and try to remember and replicate it. Listen to the students, which many of us, unfortunately, because of time constraint, because of the busy schedule, because of multitasking, there will be very less time to listen to the students. This is one such important skill which actually changes our life. We are more interested to talk than to listen. So listen to the individual concerns of our students is very, very important. If possible, spend some time after the class, after the college hours. If you are able to sit with the students to understand their individual concerns, they'll be more than happy to explain what they are going through. Might be academic, or might be some personal counseling they need. Give them undivided attention. Let them open up. Trust, which is a golden rule for this. Teacher is listening to me. She is going to understand me. She is going to support me. That kind of confidence, if you are able to get, then that actually changes the life of a student. That they feel a sense of worthiness. They feel important. Teacher is attending me. Teacher is calling by my name. Many of the teachers, they don't know the student names in the class. They would have crossed one semester, they would have crossed second semester, but hardly teacher only remembers the roll numbers, not the names. So if we apply it for ourselves, if somebody calls us by number, how do we feel? So is it not our responsibility to call out their name, which gives them a sense of happiness? Madam remembers me, calls by name, takes my name, they feel happy. So listen, not only what example I gave, it is also about the time quality time you spend with your students in listening to them. So this is one video which I would like to share with you. Kindly pay attention. We can discuss about this after the video.
Yes, madam. Any interruption, madam?
Sir, are you able to listen? Are you able to see the video?
No. Just the screen. Teachers can change the world in play. The video is which is not played, madam, right now.
Okay, for me it is playing actually.
No, we are not able to see the video, madam.
Okay. Let me stop sharing and again start sharing it.
That is better, madam. That is better.
Okay. Let me know, sir.
No, video not played, madam. Video not played it.
Okay. Now, sir. Now, sir.
No, madam. No.
Okay.
I think you need to stop the video from your side. I think so, madam. I'm expecting so.
Okay, I have stopped
Your
the
screen,
video.
your video. I think your video. No, you need to mute it. Once you try, madam, from your side, you can mute your video and you try to play with the video, madam. Please. Better, madam. Better.
Can you see the screen now, sir? Can you listen anything?
No, nothing, madam. Nothing. I think your video is on right now and your screen video camera is on now. Just you can off your camera and just try to open the video, madam. Let's we see that whether it plays or not. We'll see, madam.
Okay, one second. One second. One second. One second.
I cannot see the video, madam. I cannot see the video. Yeah, madam. Now we can see the screen. Can you play it, madam? Can you play it, please? Madam, audio is not coming. Audio is not coming.
Sir? Now is it audible, sir? Now?
Visible only. No audio. It's visible.
Still not audible, sir? So still not audible?
Not audible, madam. Not audible. Now you can play it, madam. Once again, you can play it. And from your end, you can unmute, madam. Unmute and you can play it, madam.
Yeah, I have unmuted. I have unmuted, but you are telling you are not able to listen. Now? Is it audible, sir? Is it audible, sir?
No, madam.
Okay. Everything seems to be fine from my side, but I don't know why this is not playing. Okay, sir, then we will drop this video. Then if it is a
No problem, madam. You can explain the theme of the video, madam. Without audio, you can play it and we can explain the theme, madam. Participants will get understand. No problem.
Okay. So this video, what I have tried to present, actually talks about a class of students who are very, very naughty and notorious. And a new teacher enters the classroom, and everybody are busy with their own work, very, very cranky. Nobody wants to listen to the teacher. And that class is supposed to be the most naughty class in the entire school. So this teacher is really upset as to understand what is to be done. She's taking attendance and tells, okay, introduce everybody. So there are students she introduces herself first. And then one student is not answering the roll call and she's very silent in the class, sitting in the end. The teacher is confused and know as to what has to be done now. Then she goes with an idea to the class. This is a science teacher. So she goes with to the class and says that, let us do like this in the class. In pairs, you people have to come and give a presentation. Any topic, whichever you want. Anything. It is not a topic. Anything you want to say. Two of you have to come. So some boy is interested in dance, so they club with physics and say how we can connect physics and dance. And his passion is dance, so one boy will be dancing, the other is guitar. And somebody explains about how there's a flight. They normally throw rockets in the class, so they explain the science behind it. So here comes the turn. There is one girl which I mentioned too. She is quietly sitting. The teacher goes and daily sits in the class with her, and she writes good poems actually. She just started appreciating her. Wow, you're writing nice poems and all. So her turn comes when she's hesitating to come forward and express her thought because she is alone and she is left for the presentation. So then she comes up with a small poem or poetry, which I think you will enjoy by listening to it than me explaining it. She says that somebody is there to read her poem, somebody is there to listen to her, somebody is giving a chance of doing what students want to do. And she finally appreciates that somebody is hearing to her, somebody is caring for her. So that actually brings a lot of value to the teacher and also the kind of importance the teacher has given to each and every student in the class. And that is where the other teacher asks, such notorious class, how did you manage and how could you come out with such a kind of good performance from the class? Then she says that, I know that students know that I'm not going to judge them. And I've given them the freedom on expressing what they want to feel and come up with what they want to express. So this is something which the students connected to the teacher very easily, which was presented in this video, and it is available on YouTube. Maybe people can watch it little leisurely. Teachers can change the world. So this brings us to the message that I know all of us are good teachers, but there is a scope for us to be great too. So what is that scope? As told by Jim Collins, the author of Good to Great, good is the enemy of great, because the moment we start being good, we thought we are happy. And that is the one key reasons why we have to so little that becomes great. We don't have great schools principally because we have good schools. We don't have great government principally because we have good government. Few people attain great lives in large because it is just so easy to settle down for a good life. So our aspirations has to grow higher to become good teachers. Not only good teachers, but great teachers, because we are capable of doing so. So I really wish that all of you could understand and take some message of what key personality traits which we can build in our students, and what are those employable personality traits which we can desire to develop in our students. So now if any questions are there, I am open for that.
Participants can ask questions if you have, please.
Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I am Sister Sahaya from Maristella College, Vijayawada.
Yes.
I am the head of the Department of Social Work.
Great, great.
Ma'am, I was inspired to hear from you that all of us are in a hurry, that we are not having time to pay attention to students, especially
Yes.
appreciating also we are not having time. I think, ma'am, it's also pressure from the management side also, lot of syllabus to complete, and we are very academic oriented, that we want to finish all the duties fast. And we are also in the same world where our students are living, the fast moving digital world. And thank you, ma'am, for the inspiration that I got is that it's not just enough to be a good teacher, but to be a greater than that. So I just want to thank you for that inspiring talk, ma'am. And whatever you have spoken today is very much applicable, not just a teacher alone, it's for life one has to learn. I just want to thank you, ma'am, for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your inputs. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
Anyone, please can you, ask a questions to madam for a while, 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll close the session.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, ma'am, I want to some suggestion from you. Okay, during the class, if someone using mobile phone, so how to motivate a student to not use mobile phone during the class? Because everyone have mobile and everyone checking their mobile after 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So how to motivate a student to not use mobile during the class?
So one way is that the college sets a guideline that the mobiles are not allowed into the college as such. They deposit in some safe place. If that is not possible, they have to switch off in the class. That is the normal norm, I think, everywhere. They switch off and keep it in the bags. That rule has to be followed, and teachers have to set the discipline. As I said in one of the point, no, you have to set the rules and discipline in the class. That is very important to follow. And sometimes we only ask the students to take out the mobile and check some information. For example, the personality test, what I mentioned, I send the link so that they open in the mobile and do it. So controlled usage of mobile is fine. But unless you instruct, they should not open the mobiles and randomly use it. That is not permissible. It is purely the prerogative of the teacher to handle the situation. Because class is our control, it is our domain, it is our area. The students have to listen to our guidelines. And that is one of the most important quality of the teacher, how we are able to control the class. Hope I answered the question, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Anyone, please? You have any questions, discussion with Madam Bala Koteswari, Madam Dr. Bala Koteswari, Madam Dean, Vice Principal, Sanskrit Group of Institutions. Thank you.
This is one such topic I was expecting more debate and discussion, because I am sure teachers have a lot of complaints against the students. They are unmanageable, they are uncontrollable, and all these things. So out of my surprise, teachers are not coming out, I guess.
Okay, madam. Sir, can proceed. Dr. A. Srinivas sir, can you proceed the voting? Vote of thanks, madam. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Professor, I have a
Oh,
question.
Kiran,
Hi, Bala. You have touched such a wonderful the subject, and you have kept us thinking about the wrong things we have done while teaching. Okay, so how can we have a question? At least I didn't have a question, it is like, introspection, where I can do better. It is more of that thought process. I think currently I am in that thought process that, I could have been great if I had done something different. So, more on the introspection I am in. So I don't have questions to ask because the topic itself is self-learning and unlearning many things. And thank you so much for this wonderful thought-provoking session.
Thank you, Kiran, such wonderful words. And you yourself is a training professional, so you might add some points because she is going to be speaker for tomorrow. Maybe you can hear from her as in her experience and her expertise in this area, which she's going to take up tomorrow. But thanks anyway for joining the session and taking out time and joining this session. Kiran,
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Sir, please. On screen now.
I take this opportunity to thank today's resource person, Dr. Bala Koteswari madam, for enlightening the participants on personality development, improving employability skill among students, especially on the topic of personality, 5-dimensional personality traits, teachers' roles and responsibility, and values. Any interesting, all important traits. It is really worth and useful to all participants, I hope. And thank you, madam, for your valuable time spent on this occasion. Thank you. I thank all the participants on this session. I request all the participants to take part for tomorrow's session, which is by Mrs. Y. Kiran on personal development coach, Bangalore, promoting and fostering emotional intelligence in classrooms. I welcome you all for tomorrow's session. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all. Thanks.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, madam. Dean, madam, thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor.
Thanks to the organizers for giving this opportunity. And I really apologize to the participants for the technical glitches. I could not play the video, but I'm sure you can note down and probably enjoy the video a little leisurely. But Republic Day wishes to all of you again. Thank you so much for being such wonderful audience, and thanks to the organizers.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. Really informative. Thank you. The session is so.